What's going on, everyone? I hope you're very well. I hope you're having a very nice day, very nice weekend. Today we have a very interesting, very cool little video. You can see that over here we have this mini ecosystem planted fishbowl. It's heavily planted, and you can see that we got two little fish in here. You might say, yeah, that's not very good for that little swordfish over there. It might be suitable for a betta fish. But I've got an explanation as to why they're here. So I had a bit of a problem with mosquito larvae. This, a couple of days ago, was completely overrun with them. And so what I did was I put this little fish there for a couple of hours, and it completely wiped out the mosquito larvae. And it seemed to be doing pretty well. It was happy, it was eating. It goes to show that the water quality in this little fishbowl is really, really good. And with the betta fish, you might notice that it's a bit battered. The fins are all eaten away, and they're literally eaten away. I bought another betta for this little cognac cup that we have over here. And that's mainly what we're going to be doing today, what we're going to be working with. And I decided to put it in the same fishbowl as this little guy. I don't know if I bought a male or a very aggressive female. Anyway, it started to bite into this one, which is the nicest betta fish that I've ever had. Super gentle, super nice. And I didn't even realize because of the plants. But when I noticed, the other one, the new one, had already bitten off several chunks of the fins from this one. So I'm gonna let it stay here in this nice little aquarium for a couple of days. I'm gonna remove the little short fish, and I'm gonna move it back to the bigger one, to the bigger fish bowl. And this is gonna be the temporary residence for this little blue betta fish that I have over here. So anyway, I just wanted to show you what I want to do. We can see that this is a little Wallstop method planted aquarium. We got the gravel on top and the gardening soil on the bottom, and I'm going to do the same thing with this. I got the plants over here. We're going to go over them in just a couple of moments, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the camera. I'm going to start adding the soil and the substrate, and then we can continue with the whole process. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So this is a really nice cup. I think it's about 2 gallons, if I'm not mistaken. It's really cool. The only thing that I did is, is that we added a couple of foam pads to the bottom, because the bottom was a bit irregular. So with the weight of the substrate and the water and whatnot, we decided it was best to add some sort of support so it would stay in place and it wouldn't crack on the pressure. So I've got here my gravel. This is a silica sand. It's inert. It's very good for aquariums. You can also use gravel. And I've got the nutrients over here. This is the regular gardening soil. No fertilizer added, no peat moss, no nothing. It's just your regular, we could say black dirt or gardening soil that you can find at any Home Depot, Lowe's, or whatever. So I'm gonna place the camera down over here, and I'm going to start with the first layer, which is the gardening soil. So you'll see when we add the first scoop that I've got several chunks and a couple of fibers of organic matter, but it's just the minimum. Look at all those chunks. Those will have to be broken down. So we got a nice even layer of the organic matter that we're going to fertilize our plants. Okay? There we go. I think that's plenty. So next step would be to break down the chunks, break down the clumps that we have over here. and evenly distribute this. Okay? I'm going to pause the camera and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's completed. Okay? See you in a bit. Okay, so the bottom layer is pretty much finished. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select the front of this whole build. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pile up a little bit of the gardening soil to the back, so that we'll get sort of like an illusion of depth by using the substrate, like so. Yeah. So that's the first layer, and then we continue with the gravel over here. So again, this is super easy. It's just a matter of coming in and then adding it on top of the topsoil. You might see that there's quite a bit of dust coming up, but I intend to mature this build, leave it with just the plants and water, doing a couple of water changes in the meantime before we add any fish. This is actually the home for a betta fish, as you can see from the description and the title. And so, this little dust will settle and will be absolutely no problem for the fish. Yeah. So there's the second layer. And I've got this tool over here, which is super useful. We just distribute it so that the nutrient layer of the soil is completely covered. Yeah. There we go. I think we might need a little bit more over here. You check as you go along. You can see that it's nicely covered. About an inch. Yeah. With the sand, the gravel and the sand. Yeah. Okay. So now for the hardscape, I got this river stones over here. Some of them are quite nice. Look at this one, for example. It's heavily polished. Some others look very nice, just like river stones. And I've also got this bag of pebbles from the dollar store, which I think are going to be very, very pretty once we put them down. And yeah, we're going to use these to decorate the whole build. I'm actually going to pause the video again because I'm going to ask the person who's going to have this in her home how she wants to lay them out. So the next shot you'll be able to see what was her idea for this whole build. Yeah, I'll show you the hardscape. We're going to add a little water and then we'll get to planting. Okay, so I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so check it out. We got most of the stones that we're going to use laid out, and you can see that it looks quite natural. The colors are a bit different among each other, those two over here look very, very dark, but I think it will look good. Now, some people like to plant the aquatic plants when the substrate is dry, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of water just so that the substrate is wet when I plant the aquarium plants. Okay, so that's the next step. Cat over there. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so we got a little bit of water in, and now we're gonna start planting. Like I said, the plants that are gonna grow the tallest are gonna be at the back, and this one over here is actually a plant that can be used for ponds, which is the scientific name. I have them over here, little tags. Heliocharis Montevidensis. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna plant a couple of patches there, and I'm actually going to use some of these patches in my mini pond that we've seen in previous videos. Okay, I've also got a plant that's very, very hardy. I've used in most of my builds by now because it's great when oxygenating the water. It grows really, really well. It's Hygrophila polysperma rosenerving. Really nice red coloration after a couple of weeks. Yeah, I got this little bulb. When I was buying the plants, I saw this floating around and said, hey, what's that? It's a cryptocorin or cryptocorini. I'm not sure of the pronunciation, but it's the Wenti green variety. I'm going to write the names in the description box so you can see them, because I'm most likely butchering the names. But anyway, I'm going to plant one of these little rhizomes to see what it comes out. But I want to put it in a strategic position so that it doesn't take from the main idea, which is to lay out the plants so that they can look good. Let's see, we got more Hygrophila over here. Nice little patch. Or they call you patch. And a little bit more over here. It's gonna look quite cool once it grows. Now then, this is another one that I bought specially for this build. Let me show you the tag. It's Lovigia atlantis. Yeah. So this is a medium-sized plant. Of course, this is gonna grow, and it might overrun the whole tank. Some of these. But the idea would be to, do a little bit of maintenance here and there. Not a lot of water changes, not a lot of maintenance. But yeah, I intend to, clip the growth from time to time. Yeah. Over here will be good. Okay. It's actually quite big now that I see it, It looks like it's going to grow even taller. So it'd be a good idea to, clip the tips, do what's necessary so that it continue to grow. It continues to grow, but, keep it in check. Yeah. This is another type of Aleocharis. It looks quite similar, but this is the Parbula variety. So this could go further in the front. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. I think I'm just gonna add a couple sprigs of Bacopa Monieri over here, and a couple more Lovigia atlantis to the sides. I want this to be heavily planted, like I said. So yeah, it's gonna look quite green from the start. This is gonna allow for the nutrients to be quickly absorbed, and it's going to give us a very nice water quality in no time. Okay, so another one maybe over here at the back. And the last one, I'm not sure if this is going to make it on the water or not. This is a little sprig of Hydrocotyle leucocephala. It's a type of pennywort. But yeah, it was growing outside of a little micro pond that you've seen in previous videos as well. So let's see how it does. If it just melts away, it'll be absolutely no problem. But if it grows well, that's great, right? So I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. So the next step would be to fill this up with water, keep it in a nice bright spot, and yeah, it's going to be the next step of the build. Yeah. So I'm actually going to pause this video, fill it up with water, and I'm going to leave it like this for a week so that it can establish itself very well. And you're not going to have to see another video because I'm going to show you the result with editing after a week. So I'm going to pause the video and we'll see how it looks a week later. Okay, so I'll see you then. Here we go.